Hi guys, how we doing? Welcome back to the Three Hammers podcast. Here with Luke, as always, this week. How we doing, mate? You alright?
Yeah, good mate. Still a little bit deflated about the result the other day. What about you?
Yeah, definitely.
I think it's more the fact that it was Tottenham. In terms of a lot of people have been saying we played really bad. I don't think we played really bad. There were spells where we played really bad, and it was definitely more of Bilic's tactics. It's been discussed a lot on all the other sort of YouTube channels, but definitely when Antonio started and we started Hernandez up top, they didn't know how to handle us at first, and we was handling them very well. Antonio went off. Obviously, Carroll come on, and they sort of was rubbing their hands together at that point, Tottenham.
Yeah, I mean, it was bad that we got ourselves 3-0 down. You know, that was
individual
bad.
errors, though. Two individual errors.
But it was good. It was a good spirited comeback. Do you know what I mean? And it was. I think we deserved more, and we definitely should have had a penalty right at the end. So it should have been a draw.
Yeah. We just got found out. As much as it hurts to say it, mate, Harry Kane is world class, and you can't give him world class strikers that sort of time, that sort of space, and basically gift wrapping a goal for him. Antonio injury, sad. It's another one. It's always the best players that get injured, isn't it? It's never the bad players that get injured.
Yeah, again, mate. We spoke about Lanzini last week about being injury prone. Antonio needs to go into that bracket as well now.
Yeah, there is a little bit of sort of some of the other YouTube channels were saying, do you think he should have been risked? Obviously, he did have a late fitness test. Should he have been risked? For me, he should. I'm always one of these ones that play him for 60 minutes, bring off, rather than bringing on. I'd rather him start and take off. What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, only Slav and the fitness coaches will know the answer to that. Because obviously we don't know how ready he was. But I don't know. It seems like again, like we said last week with Lanzini, it was he rushed back too soon and then that aggravated the injury, and now look how much longer he's out for. You know, could we have waited another week for Antonio to come back and then not have so much of a risk?
They're saying he's only going to miss one game, and then he should be back after the international break. So hopefully that is the case.
Yeah. Hopefully Lanzini will be back then as well. So
yeah. So we should be getting a few people back. I don't want to discuss the game too much because I went into it in my review, and obviously it's been quite a while since the game now. But Slav again, mate, has he got some stuff to answer for in that decision making again? Should he? A lot of people, and I totally agree with Sam, should have been a like for like substitution, and Andy Carroll shouldn't have come on.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to know why he did it. I'd love to know what his reasoning was. Why, like, he obviously set out a team to play against Tottenham, and he obviously had worked on that, and this is the shape and the way that he wanted to play. Why change that so soon? Due to injury, like you say, why not bring on, as much as I hate him, as much as I can't stand him, why not bring on Sacco, someone who can do that job, instead of bringing on Carroll and then, you know, just completely changing the way we play? I don't know. Again, we've been saying this for how long? We've been saying this for so long now about his tactical decisions and his substitutions, and I don't understand what he's trying to do. I really don't.
Yeah, I have to say, for me, Masuaku come on too late as well.
He looked good playing on the wing.
He was excellent when he come on. Like him and Cresswell, I think there's potential there for them to play together. I don't know, but then you have to drop Arnie. But yeah, he was amazing. He came on, obviously set up a goal, direct. His crossing was straight away a lot better than what Cresswell was offering. I like him. I really do like him. I think he should be starting. A lot of people are criticising his defending, which, okay, yeah, there are some question marks there, but no more than Cresswell for me.
No, he probably will end up getting moved forward anyway. I mean, he does seem to be a more natural winger than he does a left back. So he could end up moving up the pitch. Obviously, I don't want to make comparisons on ability, but like Gareth Bale did. Do you know what I mean? Started at left back.
No, but I'm thinking more, if you don't want to go as far as Gareth Bale, mate, I'm thinking more Antonio. It's like
Antonio didn't really start as a right back.
Yeah, so he could be moved up. You know, maybe he's wasted at left back.
Yeah.
But yeah, nice to see goals from Chicharito again. Nice to see a goal from Chieti, but yeah, just we give ourselves too much to do, sadly. Yeah, so what on Bilic, mate? Where do we stand a week on? It seems like we have to do it every week. Where do we stand on him?
So still the same. A tough game to Tottenham. You know, yeah, there was a lot of questionable decisions, but not enough for me. You know, I said I'd give him a bit of time now to try and push us in the right direction, and that one result's not enough to change my mind on that yet. So we'll see how we get on in the next few games that seem to be more winnable games.
Yeah, these are, if you're picking 3 games and you've got to go, right, 3 games, you've got to get some points. These are 3 games.
Yeah. So we'll see how he does after these games. And then if we're still not looking any better, then yeah, obviously then I'll be saying even more, no, listen, it's time he has to go. It's a really weird one as well because I think we might have mentioned this last week, but it seems to be in that everyone's in that limbo because it seems pretty obvious now he's not going to get a new contract. Unless he pulls off some miracle. So why are we just delaying the inevitable? I don't know. It just seems pointless.
Yeah. I did put out a poll earlier in the week about Slav. Said I'd reveal the answer on the show. Out of, I think it was over nearly 900 people did the poll. 83% said if we do not beat Swansea, it's time for Slav to go. 83%. And a lot of comments were along the lines of, he should have went after the Newcastle game. Should have went after this game, do you know? So, yeah, 83%, that's a big number.
It's a big number, yeah.
That's a big number. I know, obviously, 1,000 people is not retrospective of 60,000 people or however big the fan base is of West Ham, but it's a big number out of 1,000, 83%. Let's put it that way. Yeah, we've touched on the injuries. Before the Spurs game, though, mate, I think you read the article in The Sun, and I know a couple of channels have touched on it. I watched Jay's video, actually, on the train before we went live. Brady's comments, mate, on Spurs. What would you make on that? Like, this woman...
Do I have to talk about her again?
The reason I put it out is because I wanted to hear what you were going to say, mate, to be honest with it. That's why I put it on it.
She's doing it on purpose. She has to be. She has to be. She's doing it on purpose. I read a comment on These Up Mother Brand this week after it, and it said she hates West Ham and she hates the fan base. And I think that must be right. It must be right. Like, how before a game like that against one of our biggest rivals, how can you come out and say the things she did? Come out and say, I want Tottenham to win the league, and gush over how amazing they are and about how well run a club they are. What about us? What about you're the one in charge of running us?
Yeah, you're the reason we are the way we are as a club.
Talking about oh, it won't be long and Spurs will have their own wonderful new stadium, purpose built.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, no, I agree, mate. I totally agree.
I don't. I'll give myself an hernia talking about that woman. I can't stand her. I absolutely but that's it. I can't stand her. The fans hate her and she hates us, and she knows she did that on purpose.
West Ham Fan TV said it as well. Surely, I don't know, but surely someone in the PR team at West Ham looked at that and surely has gone, do you know what, you shouldn't put that out.
Yeah, but who's going to override her? She's practically the chairman. She's the CEO. Do you know what I mean? She's not. I know it's Golden Sullivan, but let's be honest. Who actually runs the club? Is the business, day-to-day business, is probably Brady. Do you know what I mean? So who's actually going to turn around and say anything to her? Nobody. She can pretty much say what she wants. But yeah, ridiculous, unbelievable.
Ridiculous.
It's just absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, and like you say, if you are such a hated person, like, surely you should know, okay, I won't say things like that. It just heats it more. It just puts more heat on her when things fall down in front of her, when things like the most amazing move in the world doesn't come through, and, you know, when we don't hit Champions League in the next 5 years' time. It's just all stuff that can be thrown at her.
Yeah, but she don't care. That's the thing. She don't care. You know, she's out. She'll be going into politics. You know, she don't care. She don't care about West Ham.
No. Yeah, so just to finish on Spurs, result in general, just disappointing, I think. We showed A lot of positives I can take out of it, though. A lot of positives. There's still some negatives floating around there, but definitely some positives.
Oh, yeah.
Next game, mate, is Swansea. A game for Carroll for me. 6 goals against them.
Yeah, loves playing against Swansea.
I did see as well a little stat, 2 red cards. He's only ever had 3 red cards in his career. 2 of them have come against Swansea. But, yeah, a winnable game. They're not great. They did hold Spurs at Wembley, but I think a lot of teams will have some success at Wembley this year. What do you think?
Yeah, 100%. It's definitely a game we need to be looking at winning. There's no easy games, but yeah, it's one that you kind of have to play, Carroll, just because he has got such a good record against them.
Got some dangerous players. They've got some couple of dangerous players.
He's due a goal as well, Carroll, now.
Yeah, like Tammy Abrahams has started scoring for him now. Looks very, very dangerous. If it was me, is he injured or not? I don't know. But Renato Sanchez, obviously, put your money on him to score because he was linked with a move to West Ham, which means he will score against us. They've got a really good defender. Can't remember his name. Fernandez, I think it was, had a really good game against Tottenham. Might be Hernandez or Fernandez, can't remember. Yeah, we ain't got a bad record there either. We've got quite a good record there, but we're playing them at home, unfortunately. Lee's back for that game. Lee is coming over. Whether we see him or not on the podcast in the next few weeks, we'll let you know. What sort of lineup would you be looking at now with Antonio not fit? Obviously, Lanzini's not fit. What sort of lineup would you be looking at?
I mean, I'd probably be looking at pretty much say we start the same as we started against Tottenham, but obviously with Andy up front. For me, if Carroll's going to play up front, we're going to have to drop Hernandez to the bench for me. I don't know. Unless I don't know. There are options. I suppose you could play Arnautovic on the right and then Hernandez on the left, even though you don't want to be playing there.
Well, some people have suggested. Again, I don't think he's got the technical footwork ability, but you could, whilst Lanzini's injured, play Carroll in the number 10 role, and then Hernandez in front of him for the flicks. Yeah,
I mean, you could do. It's, to be fair, when Andy Carroll's on the pitch, he always ends up coming deep anyway. So yeah, I suppose that could be an option.
Yeah, put him in that deeper role. He's got a flick. That's one thing I noticed as well, and it was definitely echoed around the stadium on Saturday when I was there. Carroll did win a few headers, but no one gambles. Nobody gambles. No one goes, do you know what, he might win that header, so we'll make the run. It was, they wait for him to win the header, then run. It's too late. You've got to gamble. You've got to anticipate that it may come to you. But I don't know, we don't seem to have anyone who's got that in him at the minute. I'll tell you one thing I'm going to put my money on, mate. Crystal Palace, first win will be against West Ham. I'm telling you. They've got some tough fixes. I think they've got City, possibly Chelsea, and then an easier one. Then they've got West Ham. Trust me on that one. Yeah, what's your predictions, mate, for that game?
I don't know.
I just don't know anymore. I don't know.
I don't. It's a really difficult one. Who knows how we're going to line up? Who knows how we're going to play? Who knows if we're going to turn up or not? It could be anything. You know, we could win 3-0, we could lose 3-0, or it could be a 0-0 draw. I genuinely just don't know anymore. This goes back to like what we've said about Slav before. We don't seem to have any identity as a team. We don't seem to have any way that we're trying to play. We don't have a settled 11, so it's really hard to make predictions on anything because you just don't know what West Ham's going to turn up.
No, that's it. And like I say, I don't know what lineup it's going to be. I don't know whether Obiang's back or not. I'm not sure. But if he is, would he go in for you? I have to say, listen, I've been a critic of Mark. He did play well, or better, against Spurs. For me, I would be dropping Sheck at the moment. I know he scored, but I possibly would consider dropping Sheck and bringing back Obiang because I don't know. It just seems like the game's bypassing Sheck at the moment. He's not being as influential and bossy in midfield.
I don't think he has been for a year.
Yeah.
I don't think he was at all last season, to be honest. A lot of the time last season when he was playing in midfield, the game was passing him by. Players were just running past him and he was watching them go. So, yeah, I mean...
Fernandes come back. I don't know what the injury situation is with Fernandes, but he's another one. Nice option, tricky little player.
Yeah.
He can play right as well to cover Antonio if needed. He's done quite a good job at right wing at times. Yeah, like you say, I just don't know. I don't know what the starting 11 is at the minute either. I don't. Like, when Hernandez was put in the team in the Spurs game, everyone was like, wow, finally. And it did work. It did work. It looked really, really good. But just, again, unfortunate. The West Ham way.
As always, yeah.
Minutes.
As always.
Yeah. I think that's about it, really, mate, to be honest. I know it's quite short this week, but we have got loads of questions, which hopefully will keep the show nice and fresh for you. But in terms of actual news and stuff, I think that's about it. Otherwise, we're just going over old wood. And I don't really want to do that in the show this week. Let's start with some questions, mate. Some good ones, like I say. Mickey Smith, YouTube. Would you say Bilic is more a stubborn or a player pleaser manager when it comes to picking his team? Even a bit of both or neither? That's a good question, actually. Would you say he's more a player pleaser or stubborn?
Well, he's definitely stubborn with the likes of persisting with players out of position, and yeah, he's 100% definitely stubborn. I don't know, a player pleaser? I don't think so.
With stubbornness, yeah, I think it's a fine line, isn't it? It's like very stubborn, clearly, but also he clearly has his favourites. Every manager has their favourites, but he has favourites and won't drop them. And I am looking at your Mark Noble names and people like that, and I don't know. He's very stubborn with the Antonio situation as well. You will play right back and stuff, and not playing Byram last year when he had him fit. Like, Byram's okay, he's still a young lad. That's what we need to remember.
Talking about playing Hernandez on the wing and keeping him playing there, and it's like,
and he's one of the best strikers we've ever had as well. So
definitely very, very stubborn. Yeah, very, very stubborn manager, and I think that could be his downfall. Yeah.
I agree. Lewis, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce your last name, mate. Why are the ball waiting until it's too late to sack Bilic? We win one, which keeps him his job, lose 2 or 3, and his job is still safe. Are they really that tight that they don't want to pay up the compensation?
This is a really good question, mate, and it's one I wish I knew the answer to. Yeah, I wish I knew the answer to, because if I was in charge, he probably would have been gone by now. I know a lot of people won't like to hear that, but that's the truth. I don't think his compensation could really be that high.
I don't think it's that much, mate.
And he's got less than a year left on his contract, so I don't think it's a money thing. But
I don't know the numbers, mate, but I remember, I think when he was at Croatia, so Croatia international manager, I'm sure he was on, and remember this is world manager, like I'm sure he was on 10 grand a week, which in terms of managers is not a lot of money. So I reckon when he come to West Ham, I reckon they put him on about, 30. So he's nowhere near the payout that Big Sam was on. Like when Sam was on 70, 80 grand a week, wasn't he? If not more.
Yeah, so no, I don't think it's a money thing.
Contract's dwindled down as well. Like he's got 8 months left on his contract, 10 months left.
Yeah, and they did the same thing with obviously Sam's payout would have been higher, but yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe it's a case of they want to line someone up first before they pull the trigger, but then obviously that's got its own difficulties. We saw before when they were trying to get rid of Grant, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it was
Martin O'Neill, wasn't it? Martin O'Neill was like more or less going to sign the deal. It leaked, and then he went, "No, I'm not having it."
Who's to say the same thing hasn't happened this time with the likes of Mancini? Yeah.
Sorry, mate. Yeah, one rumour about that there is a buyout clause in Rafael Benitez's contract of 5 mil. I think it was 5 mil or 5.5 mil. Is it worth paying?
I like Rafa. He's a very, very good manager. His record pretty much, his record speaks for itself, and he's won everything. You know what I mean?
He's turned that Newcastle side, which is a very excuse any Newcastle fans that are watching this show, a very average in terms of player ability into a really good side. Like players like Matt Ritchie, fantastic player, Matt Ritchie, and they tore us one, didn't they? So
yeah, I mean, we've said loads of times before, I'd be happy to see Rafa come to West Ham. Whether he'd want to leave Newcastle to come to West Ham, it sounds like he's having problems with Mike Ashley, but then who's to say he's not gonna have problems with Sullivan? Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. One thing I did hear, apparently, I don't know, I might have even heard this from you, mate. I'm not sure, but I think it might have been actually that he likes the owners because they didn't stand in his way when Madrid came in.
Yeah. So maybe there is something there. Yeah.
So I don't know.
Brendan Windus, do we drop Noble? Touch and run makes no effect on the game.
Yeah, Luke's mate.
Oh, mate, I'm going to say last week he did play well. I'm not going to sit here. Listen, I want players to play well for West Ham, but I also want the opinion that if a player is not playing well, then you need to give someone else a try. You need to give your Declan Rices a try. You need to give your Obiang, your Fernandez. Because what's the point of playing? If the person in front of you is not playing well, what's their incentive to try hard with training? Do you know what I mean? That's what it is for me. If Mark Noble comes in and he's playing a worldie, 8 out of 10 performances every week, by all means, play him. But few times Mark's performances have dropped off. That's all I'll say on it now. I'll be nice to him now. I'm not going to be horrible anymore. There you go.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. Claret and Blue extenders. What is our best formation? Because clearly the wing back isn't doing it for us. I don't know what that says. I think it's meant to say Hernandez on the left is wasteful. I don't know what he's said there, but have something like Hernandez. We know Hernandez is wasted on the left. That's that goes without saying. That's like a Michael Owen comment.
I mean, for me, our best formation would probably be 4-2-3-1. So flat back 4, 2 holding midfielders, and then you've got Lanzini, 2 wingers, Hernandez up front.
I think the biggest issue, mate, we repeat ourselves quite a lot on this show, but it's like we didn't buy no wingers, we didn't replace them.
We sold them all.
We sold them all, yeah, and they're all doing work better apparently. But to play that formation with the 3, the wingers have to have blistering, frightening pace. Like Antonio's very good at it. Arnautovic is a fantastic technical player, but as soon as Antonio went off Spurs game again, no pace. No pace. There was no, we can just knock it to him, and at least, like a greyhound, he might be able to get onto it and put pressure on defence.
How much could we have used a player like Faguli in that game to come on?
Faguli would have been perfect. I know he had his critics, but he did have some good spells, and he did have a good whip on him. Yeah, I don't know, mate. Good. What do we know? A couple of questions. One question from Ken. If Bilic is to go with Mancini waiting in the wings, did he not lose the dressing room at Man City for reasons I don't know? But heard also will the owners back him properly, as he is someone who can attract better players with his standing reputation. So Mancini lost the dressing room at Man City. Is that a good thing? And also, would the owners back him if he could attract big players?
That's like saying, Mancini lost the dressing room at Chelsea. At City. Mourinho lost the dressing room at Chelsea.
Van Gaal.
Yeah, Van Gaal. United.
I think every manager that loses their job is essentially that they've lost the dressing room. No?
It's very, very rare these days in England. Anyway, it's very rare for a manager to leave a club on good terms. It's very rare for a manager to say, right, I've won everything now, I'm going to walk away. Do you know what I mean? I'm trying to think of like who even has done that.
Really, you could say. I know Allardyce is sort of that sort of thing. He didn't sign a new contract. He may have if it would have been offered.
Yeah, but there was more reason. He didn't leave because he decided he'd done all he can.
Dressing room, though. Would you say he lost the dressing room?
No, I don't think so. I think the team stopped playing towards the end of the season because they knew he was leaving anyway. And from the sounds of things, like from the end of the season, he basically didn't even care. He just let the team sort himself out. But what I mean is, like, it wasn't a case of, yep, right, my job at West Ham is done. I've done all I can do at West Ham. It's time to move on.
You don't get many like that.
No, you don't. You don't.
David Moyes, when he went to Manchester United, you could possibly say that, yeah, I've done what I can at Everton. Time to go. I don't know. But yeah, in most cases, no. Leave it in the comments, guys, if you don't agree. And give us some managers that you think have left their job, like, won everything sort of thing. Obviously not Fergie, that's too obvious.
I think, like, Guardiola, Klopp, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, not you don't seem to see it in England.
No. Andy Smith. Here's one for you. Alan Kirby, there you go. He left Charlton. It's sort of, he didn't win everything, but it was sort of like, I've done what I can. Andy Smith says, next match, would you start Masuaku at left midfield over Arnautovic? Well, I like Arnie. Fantastic technical player. Like, you can just tell he could control a ball that's coming down from probably like 10,000 feet. He's one of them sort of players. But I don't know. I do like Masuaku. I love the pace. He's got a trick.
I don't think I'd like to see him play instead of Arnautovic, but like I say, maybe if we moved Arnautovic over to the right and then played Masuaku on the left, that'd be something I wouldn't mind seeing.
Let us know what you think, guys. Arnie or Masuaku? Similar question from Adsi, I think it says. Masuaku or Cresswell?
I have to say, Cresswell's done better the last couple of weeks than he has been for the last since he got injured, really.
Still think his deliveries are very poor.
Yeah, he's still
very poor.
He's still not the same player, and for me, I would 100% start Masuaku.
What do you make then on the comment? And listen, there are points for this as well. A lot of comments on Twitter, and I do read Twitter quite a lot. Is let's not forget that a left back's priority job is to defend. And
Cresswell can't defend.
Yeah, and the people arguing on Twitter are saying that Cresswell is clearly the better defender.
When was the last time you saw Cresswell? When was the last time you saw Cresswell make a tackle?
Yeah.
So not like 100% seriousness. Look up the actual stats. I think you can go on to like Transfer Market or whatever, or Who Scored. Look up the stats. I haven't done it. I'm just saying, but look up the stats for Cresswell and see how many tackles he makes a game. It's hardly any, and that's not because he's so amazing at reading the game. He doesn't ever need to make a tackle. He's not Bobby Moore. It's because he's scared to put a foot in since he got injured.
Yeah, I agree with that, mate. I do agree with that. He's definitely not the same since that injury. Like, because he used to be quite like in like that, didn't he? He used to bang in the tackle, but not so much anymore. Andy Smith again. Thanks for all the questions, Andy. Really appreciate it. Do you think Slav would sign a new contract if offered, or is he just looking to see out his contract and run?
He would sign a new contract in a second.
Yeah, I think he would as well.
In a second, he would sign a new contract. I think he's going to struggle now to get a job better than West Ham.
I think he will get jobs. He will. Jobs on the continent, but
yeah, absolutely. He'll be in the continent. He'll get jobs, but he's not going to get another job like West Ham.
No, I think there was, and I was one to believe in it as well. I'm not sure whether you was, mate, but with Slav, I always thought there's potential there. Like there's. I'm not saying he's got a top Mourinho, but he had that sort of swagger about him, that coolness. Looked like an intelligent guy. He is an intelligent guy off the pitch, but I don't know. He's been found out a lot tactically, and maybe has too many loyalties to his coaching staff as well. Possibly there as well. Like obviously, you build a team as a manager, and obviously you get your trusted staff, but those staff. Yeah, they worked well, possibly with Croatia, possibly with Besiktas, but are they at the level of the Premier League? And I think maybe that's some sort of change he would need to do if he was to start West Ham beyond this season. But in terms of that as well, mate, we discuss it as well. I do think that going into last year's contract has not benefited anyone.
No.
At all. Club, him, fans, just it is like a waiting game. It's like let's hope we survive, and then we just get a new manager in and try and back him again in the summer. Mark Collinson, if we were guaranteed to win the league for the next 5 years, but we would be relocated to Watford, what would you want, or would you want it?
No.
5 years win the league.
No, it's the same. It's the same argument. Like, it's one thing moving down the road to Stratford, but like it's the same it's the same thing that's come up before about would you take winning the league for the next 5 years if we changed our name to
Red Bull West Ham,
Red Bull West Ham or Red Bull London or something? And no, like it would not be West Ham. It would be a completely different club. We're hanging on as it is to West Ham.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right.
Let alone anymore.
You're right. Mark Collinson again. Does anyone think that we are making too much out of the Spurs rivalry? They are no Millwall, and most Spurs fans I know couldn't give a monkeys about us. I admit it's always a top game, but so are most of the London derbies. Listen, the Tottenham thing, from their point of view, is a front. They care about this game. Please believe me. Just before Paul talks, Moose put out a tweet straight after the game. A little bit of a bite, sort of a get the rod out for the Tottenham fans one. He put out, will Tottenham win the cup final? How many Tottenham fans bit at that tweet? Oh, we don't care. It's not our cup final. If it's not your cup final, why have you replied?
Yeah.
Why have you replied? Why have you bit at that? Obviously, they've hit a nerve, no?
Oh, yeah, 100%, mate. 100%. 100%.
I'm not saying we're the biggest rival. Obviously, Arsenal are, and possibly Chelsea even above them. But trust me, West Ham Tottenham game means as much to us as it does to them.
Yeah, and rivalry hasn't got anything to do with league position or form or anything like that. You know, look at us and Millwall. We're miles apart on the pitch. It's got nothing to do with that. It's that rivalry with the fans. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, like you say, mate. Any Tottenham fan who says they don't care is lying.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I don't think we read too much into it at all. I think there is rivalry. And there's a rivalry with Chelsea, you know. Any London club. It's a London derby as well at the end of the day. Whether it was a rivalry or not, it's a London derby. You know, even the Palace game is good atmosphere. The Palace games, the Fulham games of the past. It's a London team at the end of the day. Yeah. That is it for the questions, mate. Very short show this week. Hope that's okay with you guys. Obviously, something quicker for you to watch this week. I will be back with a review for the Swansea game. Obviously, we're going to the international break, and then we'll have the podcast. Maybe the week of the international break, we might not have a podcast. So after that international break, we might have a rest for a week, because obviously won't be much to talk about. But yeah, maybe Paul will get his goals videos out that week. We'll see. I'm waiting for it, mate. It's going to be a fantastic video. Just know it. Next week, I'm hoping, if I can, to try and get a guest on. I'm going to do a little bit of networking on Twitter after this game to see if we can get someone on, because it's the 60th show next week. Unbelievable. Still going. We're about 4 away from 2,100, guys. So get sharing, get us out there. Let's get it up. You know, we want to launch another competition very, very soon. Be a nice one for Christmas, you know. So hopefully, if you were to win this prize, it'd be a nice Christmas present for someone. That's it. Keep believing, guys. Come on your irons. If you've got any questions, any topics you want covered for this week, next week, week after, let us know and we'll discuss it, guys. We discuss everything that you put to us. Come on your irons. Let's go.
Cheers.